Good morning, students. Today our topic is about affinity chromatography. Affinity chromatography is a technique, nothing but a column chromatography technique. In earlier we have discussed about large number of column chromatography techniques like gel permeation chromatography, ion exchange chromatography, and HPLC, etc. Likewise, there is another technique known as affinity chromatography. The name itself indicates that affinity, that means attraction towards the opposite molecule. So that is called as affinity chromatography, one of the column chromatography technique. So before going to that, what is the history of the chromatography technique? That is, in 1906, chromatography was discovered by Michael Sweat. Later, in 1942, partition chromatography was developed by Martin and Sieg. Further, based on that, in 1961, paper chromatography was first discovered by Johann Bain. Based on all these contributions, we are going to take the different chromatography techniques. Based on the chromatography technique, there are different principles for different techniques. That is, before going to this differentiation, there are mainly two types of techniques, that are planar chromatography techniques and column chromatography techniques. Under the planar chromatography techniques, we have two techniques. One is paper chromatography, another one thin layer chromatography. Likewise, in column chromatography techniques, we are having different techniques like affinity chromatography, ion exchange, gel permeation. Likewise, there are different column chromatography techniques. Principles involved are absorption principle, partition principle, ion exchange principle, and affinity principle. Under the partition principle, there are liquid chromatography, gas liquid chromatography, solid chromatography. Now we are not going to discuss about the partition principle. Now we are going to discuss about only the affinity chromatography, one of the column chromatography techniques. So under this, there are different contents are present. First one, uses, principles, batch and column setups, specific uses, various affinity media, immunoaffinity, immobilized metal ion affinity chromatography, how the affinity chromatography is applied for recombinant proteins, for lectins, and further, and its specialty of this technique, and serum albumin purification and weak affinity chromatography. These are all the contents we are going to discuss in this affinity chromatography technique. So, by coming to the affinity chromatography is a method of separating biochemical mixture based on highly specific interaction between antigen and antibody, enzyme and substrate, receptor and ligand, protein and nucleic acid. These are all known as biologically important molecules which will attract towards the opposite one. That is nothing but the affinity. For example, when we are going to the house, we are attracted towards our house only, not going to our sideway house. In this way, every antigen will comes and binds to the antibody only, and every enzyme will goes and binds to the substrate only. Based on this principle of affinity of the molecules toward the respective one, so we are going to separate the different molecules based on that. It is a type of chromatography laboratory technique used for purifying biological molecules within a mixture by exploiting molecular properties. Biological molecules such as enzymes and other proteins interact with other molecules with high specificity through several different types of bonds and interactions. Such interactions include hydrogen bonding, ionic interaction, disulfide bridges, hydrophobic interactions, and more. How the affinity molecules are bind for one another? Each one is by using the these interactions. So these interactions plays a major role in this affinity chromatography. This process creates a competitive interaction between the desired protein and immobilized stationary molecules, which eventually lets the now highly purified proteins be released. So, what is the principle behind this affinity chromatography technique? In summary, affinity chromatography exploits the differences in interactions strengths between the different biomolecules within a mobile phase and the stationary phase. Like all other techniques, here also two phases, that is stationary phase and mobile phase. Stationary phase is like a inert support material on which we are going to the separate the molecules. Like in gel formation chromatography, you are using the silica beads. Likewise, here also you are using a molecule for the separation on the stationary phase. On the stationary phase, we are adding the molecule going to separate. For example, if you are going to separate the enzyme, you will put the substrate on the stationary phase. If you are going to separate the hormone, you are adding the receptor to that stationary phase. In this way, we are going to separate the molecule. Stationary phase is the first loaded into a column with mobile phase. That is, stationary first loaded into a column with a mobile phase. That is, mobile phase is nothing but a solvent. By using this solvent, we are adding slowly the stationary phase into the column. With mobile phase containing a variety of biomolecules from DNA to proteins depending upon the purification experiment. To that solvent, you are directly adding the separating molecules, that may be enzymes or hormones or DNA or proteins, directly into the solvent. Then the two phases are allowed time to bind. Now, when you are added the molecule and the stationary phase and the solvent, it will take time to settle down. That is, if you are separating the enzyme, you are adding the substrate molecule to the stationary phase. Those two should be interact. So it takes some time. That time is known as the retaining time. By that, the ligand will directly. Ligand is here nothing but the molecule you are adding to the stationary phase, nothing but a ligand. Ligand have some specific features like it should be bind to the stationary phase, but it should not be react with the stationary phase. And it should bind to the substance you are going to the separate, but it should not form a chemical reaction with the substance you are going to the substrate. And the binding should be loose, it should not be tight. So for that I am explaining one. For example, you have taken a column to which you are taking a stationary phase, onto which you are going to separate the enzyme hexokinase. You are adding a substrate known as glucose, which is binded to the stationary phase. If you are adding this stationary phase, so here the ligand is where hexokinase will go and bind to a glucose molecule. That is, glucose is binding to the stationary phase. So here glucose is a ligand. So the reaction between the glucose and the stationary phase should not be takes place. So it should, no chemical reaction should be takes place. That is, we are not adding directly glucose. We are adding the only substrate analog of the glucose. So then it will not react with the stationary phase. Then you are going to separate the molecule. That is, for you are adding the different enzymes like hexokinase, phosphoroctokinase, and pyruvate dehydrogenase, etc. Which molecule goes and binds to the glucose? Only hexokinase will goes and binds to the. Why means the hexokinase affinity towards the glucose molecule. No other molecules will bind. So remaining molecules will come out of the column. So in this way, the hexokinase goes and binds to the substrate analog. The reaction should not be too much strong. It should be very little interaction between the hexokinase and the substrate analog. Why means later we have to separate this hexokinase from out of the column. So if it is tightly bonded, we can't separate it. So the interaction between the substrate analog and the separating molecule should not be too strong. Later, the two phases are allowed time to bind. A wash buffer is then poured through a column containing both bound phases. The wash buffer removes non-target molecules by disturbing their weaker interactions with the stationary phase. That is, when you are taking a column which contains the stationary phase on which you are pouring the solvent, that solvent contains a buffer reaction mixture also. Why this buffer reaction mixture means? Which resists the pH in the column, and it also removes the unwanted. Those are the reacted molecules are present to the stationary phase. Those will bind, and remaining impurities will come out of the column. Then the stationary phase is typically a gel matrix, mostly of a agarose, a linear sugar molecule derived from the algae. to prevent steric interference or overlap during the binding process of the target molecule to the ligand. The inhibitor containing a hydrocarbon chain is first attached to the agarose bead solid support. This inhibitor of the hydrocarbon chain is commonly known as spacer between the agarose bead and the target molecule. So in this way, what I am explaining is, so I already told that the interaction between the stationary phase and the ligand, nothing but the substrate analog, should not be have any chemical reaction. Further, not to have this chemical reaction, to the column after adding the stationary phase, you are putting a small hydrocarbon chain, that is a spacer between the substrate analog and the stationary phase. By that, this hydrocarbon chain doesn't allow the reaction between the stationary phase and the substrate analog. So in this way, we are ready preparing a column setup. Next, coming to the binding to the solid may be achieved by column chromatography, whereby the solid medium is packed onto a column. The initial mixture run through the column to allow setting. A wash buffer run through the column, and the elution buffer subsequently applied to the column and collected. So in this step, for example, I am explaining clearly what the exact process will take place is. Take a column into which you are adding the your stationary phase, that is nothing but a agarose or anything, by using the your solvent or using the buffer. So after the settlement of the stationary phase in the column, it is ready to separate. So to this stationary phase, you are adding a spacer, nothing but a hydrocarbon chain onto the stationary phase. To that hydrocarbon chain, you are adding the substrate analog, nothing but the ligand. When nothing but a, for example, you are separating the enzyme, the separating molecule is substrate. That substrate is the ligand, a substrate analog which is attached to the stationary phase. Later, you are adding the different enzymes. For example, hexokinase, glucokinase, or fructokinase, anything. If your separated molecule is hexokinase, the substrate analog you have to put is a glucose. What happens when these enzymes are going to run in the column? Only hexokinase will goes and binds to the substrate analog. Why means hexokinase is specific for the glucose molecule. Remaining other enzymes are not specific to the, not affinity towards the substrate analog glucose. That's why remaining molecules will come out of the column. Only the specific hexokinase will present in the column. In this way, you are removing the unwanted enzymes out of the column, and you are wanting enzyme is in the inside the column. By this, you are separating your affinity molecule. So, likewise, when you are going to, that is your required protein, the required enzyme is in the column. We have to remove that enzyme from out of the column. For that, it is have a different method. That is, you have to change the pH of the buffer you are using in the column. What happens by changing the buffer pH? The enzymes are nothing but the proteins. Its isoelectric point also get the difference. What happens? The bonds will break from the substrate analog, and the enzyme will come out of the column. Likewise, if you are adding the more affinity molecules more than the hexokinase, what happens? The more affinity molecules comes and binds to at the substrate analog place. Again, the enzyme hexokinase will come out of the column. In this way, we are separating the required molecule from out of the column. So in likewise, this affinity chromatography is used for different purposes, like in immunoaffinity. What happens in immunoaffinity means, that is, you are having a specific interaction, that is, antigen will goes and binds to the antibody only. This is the main principle behind we are going to separate this immunoaffinity technique. What happens is, for the procedure in definitive purification of antibodies for gold serum, if the serum is known to contain antibodies against a specific antigen, For example, if the serum comes from an organism immunized against the antigen concern, then it can be used for the affinity purification of that antigen. This is known as immunoaffinity chromatography. For example, if an organism is immunized against a GST fusion protein, it will produce antibodies against the fusion protein. The possible antibodies against the GST tag as well. The protein can then be covalently coupled to the solid support such as agarose and used as a affinity ligand in purification of antibody from immune serum. Means here I am explaining clearly that here, for example, in the present example, if you are having with coronavirus, so the coronavirus is having a antigen on its surface. If you are infected with coronavirus, there will be antibodies present in your body. If you are adding the corona antibodies to the column stationary phase setup, if you are adding your serum antigen onto the surface of the stationary phase, if you are adding the serum of a patient who is infected with corona, he will having antibodies in that. If he is infected, the antibodies will go through onto the stationary phase and bind to the coronavirus antigen. If he is not having any antibodies to the, that is, he is not infected, then he will not have any antibodies. So it will not make reaction with the coronavirus antigen. So in this way, we are separating the molecules based on its affinity, the principle that is immunoaffinity. Likewise, we are also separating the different metal ions. That is, every enzyme is having its cofactor, that is metal ion. In this way, some proteins, some antigens are affinity towards its respective cofactor that are metal ions. So, immobilized metal ion affinity chromatography is the technique for separation of this type of molecules. Is based on the specific coordinate covalent bond of amino acids, particularly histidine, to metals. This technique works by allowing proteins with an affinity for metal ions to be retained in a column containing immobilized metal ions, such as cobalt, nickel, copper, for the purification of histidine containing proteins or peptides, iron, zinc, or gallium for the purification of phosphorylated proteins and peptides. Many naturally occurring proteins do not have affinity for metal ions. Therefore, recombinant DNA technology can be used to introduce such a protein tag into the relevant gene. Methods used to elude the protein of interest include changing the pH or adding competitive molecules such as imidazole. So, I am explaining here that if you are separating a protein that contains the histidine molecule, so what you have to do is we have to put the metal ion that is attracted towards that histidine molecule. So what we have to follow the procedure, the metal ion should be nothing but a substrate, nothing but the ligand is binded onto the stationary phase. If you are separating molecule having the histidine molecule, that is separating protein will having the histidine molecule, it will goes and binds to the respective metal ion. If it doesn't respect separating molecule is not having any histidine molecule, it will not come to and bind to the metal ion. In this way, that is the respective molecule will goes and binds to the histidine molecule based on its affinity. So after binding of the, for example, if the separated molecule is having the histidine molecule, it comes and binds to the metal ion that is present on the stationary phase. For that, we have to remove that binded molecule by changing the pH. The pH, as already I told that, or it may adding the more competitive molecule than the respective histidine molecule protein to the stationary phase. In this way, we are going to separate another type of proteins called as recombinant protein. Possibly the most common use of affinity chromatography is for the purification of recombinant proteins. Proteins with a known affinity are protein tag in order to aid their purification. In this way, before like immunoaffinity, or it will be a separation of another histidine related molecules. In this also recombinant proteins having a unique feature. By that, the affinity recombinant proteins are which are attracted towards the respective one are tagged onto the stationary phase, and your separating recombinant proteins are poured onto the above the column. Then it will allow for procedure. The required binding molecules are goes and binds to the stationary phase ligand. A protein may have been genetically modified so as to allow it to be selected for affinity binding. This is known as fusion protein technique. Next, in this way, lectins affinity chromatography is a form of affinity chromatography where lectins are used to separate components within the sample. Lectins are the surface proteins where they are present on most of the receptors. So the lectins are the most important. That is, a hormone goes and binds to the receptor. In this way, some important molecules goes and binds. Like for that, examples are lectins such as concavalin A are proteins which can bind to the specific alpha D mannose and alpha D glucose carbohydrate molecules. That is, if your separating molecule is having, that is, which is a substrate analog or which is a ligand, which is that is concavalin A, then if your separated molecule have the alpha D mannose or alpha D glucose, it will go and bind. Or if the separated molecule having doesn't have any alpha D glucose or alpha D mannose, it will not go and bind to the concavalin A. So in this way, we are separating the lectin molecules by using chromatography. Such common carbohydrate that is used in lectin affinity chromatography are concavalin A, saccharose, and WGA agarose. Another example of lectin is wheat germ agglutinin. So, specialty of technique. Another use of affinity chromatography is the purification of specific proteins using a gel matrix that is unique to a specific protein. That is, no, likewise other techniques that may be bind or it may not be bind. So, for example, you take gel permeation chromatography, it separates only on the based on size. So, there is some size differences cannot give the good resolution. Likewise, in ion exchange chromatography, you are separating based on the charge. Some minute charges make difference, that is not separating some molecule. But in this, you are not having that problem. That like that, the molecule is specific for that molecule. It will go and compulsory to that molecule only. It will not go and binds to the another one. That is nothing but a biospecificity for which we use as a principle in the chromatography technique. For example, purification of E. coli beta galactosidase is accomplished by affinity chromatography using P-amino binyl 1-thio beta D galactopyranosal agarose as the affinity matrix. So, by that, serum albumin purification. As already I have told that example, that is serum albumin. That is, our serum contains different albumins which will go and binds to the specific proteins that are present on the receptors. In this way, if you are adding the respective binding molecule to the stationary phase in the affinity chromatography, then the respective albumin you are going to separate will go and binds to the respective molecule. If it is not the respective molecule for that stationary phase molecule, it will not go and binds. In this way, you are removing the unwanted molecules and you are separating the respective albumin molecule. So, next. Affinity chromatography can be used to purify and concentrate a substance from mixture into a buffering solution to reduce the amount of unwanted substances in mixture. Identify the biological compounds using binding to a particular substance only. Purify and concentrate an enzyme solution. The molecule of interest can be immobilized through covalent bonds. This occurs through the insoluble matrix such as chromatography medium like cellulose or polyacrylamide. When the medium is bound to the protein of interest, it becomes immobilized. So, in this way, we are using the affinity chromatography that from the starting onwards, we are using that like that. Based on the affinity principle, you are separating the molecules. That is, you are removing the impurities of the molecule.